Hey Mopar friends, Wayne over at the Ram Man Inc. Ram Man here. Today I wanted to give folks a little bit of a class on the famous Tandem Bendix booster. This was a dual diaphragm booster. It was introduced in 1962 on the Imperials. Here is some early units right here with the long rod back in the day. There's actually about 7 different rods that go in the back of a booster, and they're typically all stamped. They all have a rod code so that you can tell, such as like your B body, 66 through 1970 will say 8BD, like this one right here. Your Imperials, they'll say IM1, 7BH Hemi, the 9 series, 9 CDs. Anyway, they're basically all the same. I will make a special note though. Some of the very early cases, 62, 63, it kind of phased out by 63. They got the 2 flat front. You see it only has 2 flats. And of course, that first gen twist in check valve. See, the early check valves, all the way through 1968, the earlier nose cones used the twist-in check valve, you see, which took a twist-in. It's got these little ears on here. Just set it down in there and you would twist it with a pair of pliers. There you go. And there's a little rubber square edge seal that goes right there. So that's the early style. And that's how you can readily identify a Tandem Bendix booster, whether or not it's in the correct era or not, by the check valve. You see right here, early nose cone. Early nose cone. 69 and up nose cone, which most people are familiar with, that the standard 3/4 inch hole, use the standard push-in check valve with the rubber seal. A lot of parts to the inside of these things. Most people don't know it. People always be talking about the diaphragms. This is the 2 diaphragms that are in a Tandem Bendix booster. I don't know if you can tell, but these things are great big old heavy duty thick gizmos, and they lose their compression and then they get hard and they get pitted on the outside where it seals against the can. But typically these things don't go bad and they don't get holes in them. That's just slang, like people talking about at the bar. Need to get my diaphragms replaced. Well, it ain't the diaphragms that goes bad on one of these boosters. A lot of people don't understand that there's, well, depending on the model, there's 4 or 5 internal seals. I want y'all folks to get a gander at this right here. Most people really have no idea. There is the blow up of a Tandem Bendix booster right there, starting from the back rear hub moving forward. There's a diaphragm, there's a diaphragm right there. There's more than a couple, 4 or 5 parts in this thing. Most people have no idea. It's amazing the damn things work. Especially after be sitting around for so long. And I'll tell you, the control mechanism of a booster is in the rear hub, the way these ports are done. Yeah. That's your control mechanism. What blows me away to this day is, picture this. So, when you're in a holding pattern, like at a stop sign or at a red light, think about this. That control valve has got to apply 50% to the front and 50% to the rear of the plate, or the damn thing would either release or it would start self-applying on you. Isn't that amazing? Think about that. Not 48.52, not 49.5, but yeah, gives you a little appreciation for these vacuum gizmos. Now, I've got some bad news. We've got some a client of ours sent in a booster off a 70 Superbird. And of course, number one, you can tell that somebody's messed around with this a little bit. They have applied that, I don't know, that like coating you put on the bed of a truck, that really rough finish. All Bendix products in general were painted semi-gloss black from the factory. All Bendix products, that means their boosters, master cylinders, disc ones, were painted semi-gloss black. That's what we call it. Back then they called it 70-degree gloss. Another big old thing that I noticed right here is they have a seal on the front of a booster. Weren't no seal on the front of no booster, folks. Let me repeat this, because it's out there everywhere. Weren't no seal on the front of a booster. Why would you need to seal a unit that is sealed? Yeah, why would you need to seal a unit that's sealed? And on top of that, why would you need to seal it to a master cylinder? A master cylinder is sealed. Well, it better be sealed. It shouldn't be leaking. This sticking a gasket right here, I'm going to tell you where this comes from. This comes from back of the day, used car lots, hillbilly mechanics, and shade tree operations, sticking a gasket in between the booster and the master cylinder to cover up that the master cylinder's leaking out of the back, weeping all down the front of there and all that to cover that up. And all it does is make it run into the booster. That brake fluid runs into the booster, contaminates all the parts in there, and ruins the booster. Ruins it. I didn't say messes it up a little bit. I said ruins it. Yeah. So, you think about that. Oh, doggone it, I got sidetracked. They got a problem here, though. This is a wing car 1970. So, this booster, maybe not the booster, because it's got the 8BD rod in there. It's got the correct rod. 8BD. But some, well, we're going to be polite. Somebody without a whole lot of knowledge stuck an early nose cone on here. Why? Because that's an early old check valve from like 63 and 64. And so, if you've got this on a high-end car, like a B-body or a convertible Gaddix or a wing car, or God forbid, a Hemi car, and any appraiser or anybody that knows anything about Mopar sees this right here on a 69 or 70 or 71, dude, you're getting gigged. You're getting gigged. And if they see that old BS on like one of them high-end cars that I've been privileged to be around with sales transactions going down, because they asked me to take a look at this thing, when they see some, well, I've got to be polite, some ignorance or some jury rigging like that on a high-end car, they're going to get to thinking, well, shoot, That's obvious right there, and staring at it, they didn't even try to hide that. What are they trying to hide on this car? That means we got 3 Stooges done an assembly on this car. Manny, Mo, and what was that other guy? I forgot. So, there are no part numbers on here, there are no date codes, but you can tell era correct through 68 and 69, 70, and 71. So, we've got to fix this. Either we change the nose cone, or like what we've had to do in the past, braise them up. Yeah. I'm pretty good, huh? Yeah. Braise that up. Make it the correct size. And down too. Nose cones are hard to find. Sometimes all they can find is the older nose cone. That's probably why that individual did that. And Mopar people know how important that is. Your Joe Schmo rebuilder in the 80s or 90s, he had no idea. No idea what was going on here. Anyway, there's your class on Tandem Bendix boosters. I hope that it was helpful. If you need some component redone and you need it done right, give us a holler. We'd be more than happy to help you out.